good, your wine store, your book, your sneaker, your SaaS product, it's better if your thing is good. However, the punchline of everything I believe in and the things that have given me opportunities to be successful is where is the attention right now that is underpriced? And that's a very important variable. TV and outdoor and billboards and Google AdWords and all this stuff, they still work. They just don't work as well for the time and financial allocation as the moment when they were in their prime. Facebook works ridiculously well right now if you're an actual practitioner of it. And in 36 months, it won't work as well because it will be more expensive to achieve the same exact result as you do today. I'm not spending time on Musical.ly right now for any other reason than if it actually pops and goes mainstream and ages above 8 to 12-year-olds and becomes a platform, because don't forget, just 5 minutes ago, Facebook was only for college kids. If it does that, I want to have the land grab, the 100,000 followers I already have on a platform that's only 8 to 12-year-old girls, will turn into nothing for me, other than maybe go to fucking jail, is gonna turn into nothing for me unless it ages up, but when it does, I'm there and I win. My game is quite simple. I wanna buy up beachfront property and build the best buildings and restaurants and homes, and as long as I'm right 1 out of 3 times, the ROI was positive for all the work. It blows my mind how many of you in marketing and business drew a line in the sand and did not wanna start a Snapchat account earlier this year because you were scared the amount of time and effort that you would put into it wouldn't have a result for you, when you have to realize that's the only thing you should be doing, rinse and repeat on every platform until you have your moment of your arbitrage. I've had 4 to 5 significant moments of this day trading attention. It started in 1996 by actually even having a website. As I look around here, there's a lot of youngsters in the crowd. But for a couple of us that were around back then, in 1994, 5, 6, people debated if the internet was a fad the way we debate a new app being a fad. The whole fucking thing. My dad got made fun of by all his friends that we didn't open a second liquor store, instead we built a website, right? That was the first being right about underpriced attention, because $15,000 to build a website is a hell of a lot less than $1 million to build a liquor store, and that website generated $40 million in sales. In no way would have that liquor store done that. That was the right rub. I did that in tactics by other moves, including email. How many people in this audience have done email marketing in their career? Raise your hands. Wow, awesome. That was awesome. This is gonna be even more awesome. In 1997, I had 200,000 people on an email newsletter that had 91.3% open rates. Don't clap for me. I'm no hero. It was just a timing thing. It was because all of you assholes hadn't started email marketing yet. Right? So now that same email is bigger. It's been around for a decade, or 2 decades, and yet it's got 31.7% open rates, right? I mean, the open rates is one thing. I think it had at one point like 59% click in the email to add to cart. It was unbelievable. We built the business on it. Then Google AdWords came along, right? I literally, thank God I wasn't making videos back then. I was like, this Google thing is stupid. Why don't they have ads on the homepage? But when Google AdWords started, I bought the word wine for 5 cents a clip, because back then the minimum was 5 cents, not 10 cents a click. And I owned it for 9.5 months before anybody bid me up. And that was the arbitrage. Now that same term, wine, is a $4.37 word, right? It's no different. But there's millions of stories of me doing that where it didn't work out, hence Social Cam. Or if you're hardcore Web 2.0, how many of you remember Plurk, the thing that was the next Twitter, but it went this way instead of this way? It was fucking crazy. Anyway, and so basically my core moves were a website, an email newsletter, a Google ad campaign, and then for a lot of you, you may know this, my career took its biggest turn when 3 months after it came out, there was something called YouTube. I looked at it. I'm like, I think this is gonna be big. And within the year of YouTube being in existence, before any one video had ever hit 1 million views, I started a 20-minute wine show called Wine Library TV. And it worked. It was the first time that content was driving sales for me. Weirdly enough, on a show where I was panning my own wines. And it really changed the course of my career in many ways because it drug me more into the Web 2.0 world. YouTube sold for $2 billion. I got freaked out by that. I said, this talent can do more for me. So I decided to invest in the next things that I believed in. In order, those three things were Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. That was good. And that's how we got here, right? It was very good. And so I might be able to buy the jets good. And so that, I guess what I'm trying to figure out and what's the biggest legacy I can leave from tonight's talk is a couple of pillars of there are tried and true things that will happen forever. For example, what am I most fearful of? I'm fearful that this room has a lot of fake entrepreneurs that are running companies that when the global economy slows down and they can't raise money, that they'll go out of business because they're not actually building a business, they're building a product and really just a financial arbitrage machine, and all their behavior is predicated on appeasing VCs who won't be there for you when you get to the next step, right? Thanks for the clap, bro. So that I'm worried about. And I'm worried about a lot of different things. The supply and demand of everybody doing the same thing, right? There's a million things I'm worried about, or what are dangerous things for all of us in this room. What am I most in control of? I'm most in control of talking to you guys about self-awareness and like what actually allows you to win. I know that one of the only things I do well, because it's just true, one of the only things I do better than the market is I am intuitive of what people are gonna do slightly ahead and fast enough. And it's really always backed by data. I love when people are like, you were so early on Snapchat. Yeah, after it spent a year on the top of the App Store, right? It's just that I'm willing to put in the work that so few others are because I view it as the cost of entry, not a risk move. And I'm stunned by how many people could go to a conference like this, know who I am and the other speakers are, and continue to poo-poo innovation changes because it's not convenient to your work ethic or how you're making money when you have the audacity to want to live the life that you actually want to live in this room. And to me, that's the punchline. Like, in the world where there's no fucking way you're here tonight in this room and you don't have massive ambition and you are seeing the world in a different way than the masses, don't go get caught up in our bubble. You are seeing the world in a different way than 99% of people. I just don't understand when you're asking for the fruits at this high of a level, why so many of you are not putting in the work. I have startups that I'm an investor in right now that have 3 months worth of money left, have no money coming their way whatsoever. The product is shit. They're out of business in 3 months, and they went to fucking Coachella. And so that to me is what's a very fascinating thing that I want to like figure out through Q&A or this talk or fucking email me. I don't know, but we are living through a remarkable time where business people are people that people want to take selfies with. The entrepreneur has never been more put on a pedestal, and this shit is gonna crash down. It's just what always happens. And to me, I feel a massive sense of responsibility as a human being, as somebody who's benefited from it, to really talk about it, because there's a lot of shit we're not talking about in our